Well, hello, class. Hope all is going well. Boy, believe it, we are already into week 4 and halfway through term 4. Wow, can't believe it. I'm sorry. Anyway, the main point of this chapter is to focus on organizational redesign. And one of the most important things to realize about this particular chapter is that when we do a diagnosis of our organization, it will provide the motivation for and target for change. One of the main things that we analyze in this particular course. The point is, we don't want to change for the sake of change. We want to change because it's necessary. Remember, when you pull individuals out of their comfort zones, they become extremely apprehensive. They don't like change for the sake of it. They want to make sure that, just like anything else, whenever change is implemented, you're going to have a return in your investment of why you work for the organization, and as an individual, how it will benefit you as well as benefit the organization. So, after diagnosis, the first step of change implementation is organizational redesign. Again, because the change is necessary. So, this particular chapter is going to essentially analyze the complexities of design choices that are made to support change efforts. Choices to support change efforts. So, here again, when implementing change, you have to do it slowly and methodically. So, key factors are going to include integration and differentiation, control and creativity, decision making rights, high commitment and teamwork. These design choices are going to have to be reinforced with formal structures that are already in place in the organization and different systems that are in place in the organization. And a lot of these systems we're going to be addressing when we get to chapter 6, a little further on. So when we look at the learning objectives, and I've already kind of listed these for you, but just to elaborate a little bit more because this is such an important chapter, we want to really look at organizational design because having the right people in the right place means everything in an organization. And we want to differentiate between the formal and informal design elements. In other words, we got a cake, we got a recipe. What are things we essentially need to create that culture that we need? What recipe do we need? And what are some of the things that address the major things in the design process? Like building a house, and okay, the initial design that's essential is going to be the structure itself, and maybe the trim is going to be the informal design elements that support the structure. So we want to also explore the main challenges that are posed by organizational redesign. So, what do we need to do with our staffing when we have a lot of cross functional type of operations? And we're working, say, if we're a global entity, say we're domestic and we've gone global, Okay? So, what are some of the challenges that are faced by multinational countries? And we've just studied this. Some of you that have been in the class for leading virtual teams. If we're an MNC, we got to know about the customs and the cultures of the different countries that we're infiltrating, and we have to understand their shared values. So, um, analyzing the requirements for building coordination and teamwork is going to be an essential part of organizational redesign. We need to have strong coordination and people working in teams to work together. Multifunctional operations are essentially important. And finally, discussing the dynamics of changing the design of an organization will have a severe effect on its culture and patterns of behavior. Again, taking not just redesigning the organization, but taking individuals out of their comfort zones and putting them in different areas. You can't cut and paste a culture, it's just not right. You have to slowly integrate that culture and let all employees, despite their functionality, see the benefit of that cultural change. And we're going to be use our opening case here in this chapter with Dr. Gale, that's Gayle, brings collaboration to CARE, CARE. And we're going to be discussing that case, and this is how we're going to open the week. So, this is kind of where we're going for this entire week, and you guys know you can always reach out to me if and when you have to.